I'm Sandy Leah with Ecumen Detroit Lakes. Welcome to Celebrate Aging. We have a lot of residents on our campus with very interesting stories, and I happen to have two of them with me today. These two extraordinary women have wonderful stories to share about their life, and I brought them back to one of the places today where one of their stories began, Detroit Mountain. I think many of you may recognize these two women. So let's go meet them. Okay, here we are inside Detroit Ski Lodge. And with me today, I have Evie Wood right here on my left and Jerry Rutledge on my right. And as I said, I think many of you will recognize both of these ladies. So we are here today to have these gals share a little bit about some of their lifetime experiences. So let's begin with Evie. Evie, why is Detroit Ski Lodge important to you and special in a way that no one else might understand?
Every skier would understand.
Okay, sure. And why don't you tell them what you told me when I asked you about why Detroit Ski Lodge was special to you. And you said that you learned...
I learned to ski out here in the old lodge, of course.
Okay, so, and why don't we tell the folks how old you are? Do you mind telling them your age? I know you're not supposed to ask a woman her age.
97.
97. 97, I think the folks heard it. 97 years old. Years young, I should say. And so when you began to ski here at the lodge, didn't you say Pam, your daughter Pam Anderson, and you were married to Sig Wood, by the way, and he was a judge in the Detroit Lakes, city of Detroit Lakes. So.
No, not the city.
Okay, district judge, okay.
7th Judicial District.
Okay. So you and Sig began to ski when Pam was in high school. Can you share a little bit about that story? When you began to ski with, well, I think it was your good friend. What was her name?
Lou Randolph, next door. Well, they were going to have a lesson at the old ski lodge for beginners. And we each dug up an old pair of skis from the garage. And I suppose we put them on over our overshoes or something. And then we came out. Well.
And how much did it cost?
$3.50 for the lesson and the rope tow.
And didn't you tell me the name of your ski instructor way back when?
His name was Dave, but I cannot remember his last name. But he was excellent.
Okay, and you said that no one who learns to ski will ever forget the name of a good ski instructor like Dave was.
Well, and also never tried downhill skiing without one lesson. Just have one and get started.
Okay, well, thank you. That's excellent information and advice, I'd say. Okay, and how about you, Jerry? So when did you, I know the two of you and your husbands, I believe, all came out here and skied together, but you said Lou and Evie came to some gathering you ladies had, and that's when you first found out about the skiing?
Well, that's right. I did not ski as a child, and they came to a coffee party at Baron Blanding's, and they were late. And they explained that they had been out skiing, and, you know, they were late getting there, and I thought, and they talked about the skiing, and I thought, well, that sounds like fun. Now, my son, Rob, was about 12 years old, and he had received skis from his grandmother, John's mother, for Christmas. And so I decided, well, okay, I'll take all the kids out and have them rent skis. He had skis that were not well put together, and they certainly didn't have the holders that we had. But so then the kids rented skis. They had not skied before, but they just took off and went down the hills. And so that was a couple of times. Well, then one time I thought, because John talked about skiing. He had skied as a youngster.
And her husband, by the way, was Dr. John Rutledge. And so I'm sure many of the folks know, while you and Dr. John have been Detroit Lakes, members of the Detroit Lakes area for many years.
Yeah, he grew up here. And that's why we came here. He wanted to practice with his dad. But he's been gone a long time. However, so one day I thought, well, the kids are going to ski. I think I'll try. So I knew nothing about skiing. So they gave me boots, they gave me skis, they gave me ski poles, helped me get into them, and then took me down on the flat area, and then they had to teach me how to walk on the skis. I didn't know how to do that.
Okay, you were showing us earlier with Jeff, the manager, who I think is going to be able to pop in with us, but you were demonstrating for us. You did a good job. You still look pretty good.
Well, then they took me over to the bunny hill, which they're still going to have a bunny hill. It's going to be higher and longer, but they took me over there. Then I had to use the rope tow. Well, I didn't know how to use the rope tow, but you held on one hand in front and one in back. So I got to the top of the hill, and I don't recall if the first day if I did anything, but soon after that I had a lesson. And it was with Don Wagner, who is still with us, and I see every now and then in church. So he started teaching me how to snowplow. And I don't know if he was teaching me how to, because you snowplowed frequently when you stopped, or whether he was teaching me to do curves, because you could also ski with doing snowplow. So I think it was the curves, and so I was skiing down the hill, and I skied to the left, and I knocked him down.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure there were a lot of people that were probably accidentally knocked down out here. I think I remember skiing out here once, and I think I knocked myself down and maybe took a few other people with me. It wasn't a good sight. But anyway, well, as you can see, from when you ladies came out here and skied with your husbands and your friends, things have changed quite a bit. Isn't this marvelous?
This building is fabulous. This lodge is, and it's big enough. I'm sure they can have humongous parties, weddings, wedding receptions, reunions of any kind, and I believe they'll be open year round because they're planning some things to do out here in the summertime too.
And we can probably get Jeff to come on board and talk to us a little bit about the lodge and how often they're going to be open and what the schedule is going to be. But it really is beautiful. And also I would like to mention that you two ladies are two of the supporters of this new lodge. So the community of Detroit Lakes would like to thank both of you. You've had great experiences out here at the old Detroit Mountain, and hopefully you'll get an opportunity to have some new experiences at the new lodge. Whether or not it's skiing, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't put anything past this woman over here. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago she was ziplining at 86 years old. So, but I think we're going to ask Jeff to come on over, and maybe he can kind of expand a little bit on the lodge and the hours and a little bit about that. Well, we have Jeff Staley, the manager of Detroit Ski Lodge, with us this morning. Jeff is joining us, and I know that he has a couple of words he'd like to say. And so, Jeff?
Well, thanks, Sandy. Yeah, this has been a special treat to have two former skiers of Detroit Mountain come out and visit us and see what we're building here. We're going to keep convincing them to see if we can get them on the snow again. But they'll certainly be here to help us encourage everybody to come out and ski and use the facility this winter, and maybe even come out and enjoy some of the summer weather while we're open for mountain biking and hiking as well.
Exactly. So thank you, Jeff, and thank you for having us out and allowing us to do our TV3 program here at Detroit Lodge. It is absolutely gorgeous. The folks are going to be excited to come out, and maybe I can bring Evie and Jerry back as a special treat, and they can give you some tips on skiing the mountain out here. So I think Evie has to be one of our oldest living skiers in the Detroit Lakes area that has skied Detroit Mountain, and Jerry's well, she's about 10 years, I think she told me, behind her. So anyway, so we would like to thank you folks for joining us. Thank you for allowing Evie and Jerry to share one of their very interesting lifetime stories. And thank you, Jeff Staley, for joining us. And until we see you again, continue to celebrate aging.